This presentation examines corporate political strategy, how businesses understand, respond to, and influence the political environment around them. These choices can affect regulation, public trust, stakeholder relationships, and ultimately the direction of the company. The central idea is that political strategy is not separate from business strategy. It can shape the opportunities and risks a business faces over time. As we move forward, I'll connect these broader political considerations to business plan development and the decisions leaders make about their company's future. Political strategy belongs in a business plan because no organization operates in isolation. Local regulations, federal policy, industry lobbying, and public sentiment can all influence costs, opportunities, reputation, and long-term decisions. The key point is that political forces affect business outcomes, whether a company actively addresses them or not. A strong plan should therefore explain how the organization will engage with these forces, respond to changes, and, where appropriate, help shape the surrounding environment. Ignoring politics is not neutral. It is a strategic choice that can carry significant costs. Corporate political strategy, or CPS, is how an organization deliberately engages with the political and regulatory environment to protect or advance its business interests. It can take three forms. A proactive approach means shaping policy before it affects the firm. A reactive approach focuses on responding to regulatory changes after they occur. And a collaborative approach involves working with other organizations to influence outcomes. The key idea is that CPS is strategic, not accidental. It connects political engagement directly to the organization's broader business interests. This slide outlines 4 ways companies try to influence public policy. Information strategy relies on expertise, testimony, and research to shape decisions through knowledge and credibility. Financial incentive strategy uses PAC contributions, sponsorships, and campaign donations to build goodwill and access. Constituency building strategy engages employees, customers, and communities in grassroots advocacy. Finally, relational strategy focuses on long-term connections with officials, regulators, and political insiders. Together, these approaches show that corporate political influence can be built through information, funding, organized support, and sustained relationships. This slide focuses on information strategy as a way for companies to influence public policy through expertise and credible evidence. Rather than relying only on direct persuasion, firms can provide industry data, economic impact studies, and technical analysis to help lawmakers and regulators understand complex issues. The central idea is influence through authority. Common approaches include paid lobbying, expert testimony before committees, white papers and research, and participation in trade associations. Together, these channels position the firm as a knowledgeable source while amplifying its perspective through broader industry coalitions. Effective political strategy relies on 2 complementary forms of influence. Financial incentives, such as PAC support, campaign contributions, and event sponsorships, can create access and build relationships with elected officials. But access alone is not enough. Grassroots organizing, community coalitions, and employee advocacy show that a firm's position has broader public support. The strongest approach combines both. Financial access opens doors, while constituency support provides legitimacy over time. Relying too heavily on money can also trigger reputational backlash, so balance is essential. Political strategy is shaped by context, not by a one-size-fits-all formula. Firm size and available resources matter. Larger companies may support lobbying and PACs, while smaller firms often work through coalitions or trade associations. Industry conditions matter too, especially when regulation is extensive, as in pharmaceuticals, energy, or finance. The surrounding political environment, including stability, partisanship, and regulatory expectations, also affects the level and style of engagement. Finally, corporate culture and values can steer firms toward transparent, relationship-based approaches, particularly when ESG commitments are central. The influence spectrum shows that organizations rarely maintain one permanent political posture. Instead, they shift from passive monitoring to more aggressive engagement, depending on the scale of the threat or opportunity. The key idea is that influence evolves with an organization's position and experience. Startups and new entrants may initially watch from the sidelines, then become more active as they grow and face regulatory friction. Established incumbents often operate at the other end, building industry coalitions and helping shape the rules that competitors and new entrants must follow. Industry context is a decisive factor because firms use different influence strategies depending on the policies and regulators they face. In pharmaceuticals, companies invest heavily in information strategies, including clinical data and safety research, to shape FDA decisions and pricing policy. Energy and utilities rely more on coalition building and lobbying as they navigate environmental regulation and infrastructure priorities. In technology, relational strategies and expert testimony are especially important in debates over data privacy, antitrust, and AI governance. The central point is that influence is highly industry-specific. Integrating political strategy into the business plan means treating the political environment as an ongoing business consideration, not an afterthought. First, scan for political risks and opportunities. Then position the organization by selecting a strategy that fits its resources and context. Engage through lobbying, coalition building, and relationship management. Finally, monitor outcomes and adapt as conditions change. This cycle helps the organization stay proactive rather than reactive. By embedding political strategy into planning, the business is better prepared, more resilient, and protected as it grows. The key takeaways are straightforward. For strategy types, form the core toolkit: information, financial incentives, constituency building, and relational approaches. Context determines the right choice, and strategy evolves as firms grow. Most importantly, political engagement should be planned deliberately, not handled reactively.